Hey, I'd like to welcome you to another episode of the Mission Matters Innovation Podcast, your source for all things innovation. My name is Adam Torres. You can follow me on Instagram at AskAdamTorres. Keep up with my book releases, book tour schedule, signings, all that other good stuff. Always love to connect with you there. And as always, if you'd like to apply to become a co-author of one of my upcoming books, just head on over to the website, missionmatters.com, and click on Become an Author to apply. All right, so today is a very special reunion 2020 episode. What is that? That's when I had a guest on in the past, and I liked them so much I had to bring them right on back. So today's special return guest is Manoj Javeri, and he's co-founder and CEO over at Hire Medical. Manoj, welcome back to the show.
Thank you so much, Adam. It's great to be back. It's like two old friends getting to have a reunion, so that's good.
We got the podcast family back together, and I'm excited to get into it. I know you got some exciting news today, the new mobile app release, and also a partnership with Axuall. But before we do get into that, I don't want to assume that all of our new listeners caught your first episode. So start off with giving us a little bit of an overview of what you're doing over at Hire Medical.
Yeah, definitely. So Hire Medical has built an online application, a platform that allows providers as well as medical practices, so it could be hospitals, medical groups, clinics, to directly connect online without an agency middleman. And it's really disintermediating this space, but it's not just about removing the middleman and replacing it with technology. It's also about increasing the speed of the process, bringing a lot more folks into the market because we're lowering the bar and making it easier to do this kind of work. Just the logistics and the hassle of it, everything from, actually consummating a match to getting credentialed. And, that's going to bring in a lot of new people who say, hey, you know what, let me give this a try. I've always thought about doing it, but, it's such a headache to do it right now in today's agency-driven world. But now they may change their mind. And we are seeing that. Yeah, go ahead.
Talk a little bit more about why the work you're doing is so important, because I don't know if everyone, especially if some of the people listening, so my major downloads come from, New York, LA, Chicago, so some of the places that maybe aren't as affected at times as some of maybe the rural areas.
Yeah. So, it's funny actually, because as I watch, the primaries going on right now and all of these Democratic presidential debates and everything, and these discussions around healthcare, these are very relevant, newsworthy things that are occurring right now, and people are having discussions about, the shortage of healthcare, the cost of healthcare, all of these types of things. So the work we're doing is important because, yes, there is a raw shortage of providers, everything from physicians to APPs and nurses. And by the way, our focus is always been on physicians. And now, very recently, we've expanded into APPs. So CRNAs.
Man, you are rocking and rolling. You are not. I turn around and I'm like, wait, what's next? I love it. Keep going. I'm getting excited here.
So that's really our focus, physicians and APPs. And if you think about that population, yes, there's a raw shortage in terms of just the demand versus the supply. But really, what there is a big allocation mismatch. They have, there are so many places, major cities, metro areas in the U.S. that are saturated with doctors, and then you have the rural areas that have a big shortage of physicians. And so how do you get the saturated locations? How do you get physicians and APPs from those locations to be able to easily and quickly work in rural areas? Part of that solution is things like telemedicine. Part of it is actually enabling people to get licenses quicker. Part of it is improving the credentialing process, because if a doctor wants to do some part-time work, that maybe they work in a big health system in a metro area, they want to work in a rural area, it takes a long time to get credentialed. So it's about speeding that up. And part of it is having an online platform that allows a marketplace for direct matchmaking. And that, Hire is actually a big part of that solution. So all of those components together, and other things too, will allow us to solve this allocation mismatch problem. And that, of course, ultimately leads to better care for patients.
Absolutely. Let's get into some of these announcements. So where do you want to start with? Let's start with the app. Tell us a little bit more about that, because that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely want to, we always thought that, look, we're going to develop a web-based application cloud-based, but then later at some point we'll develop a mobile iOS and Android app. And now we've finally just released the very, very early version, and we're still doing some early beta testing and after it's now in the wild. And yeah, it's really exciting. Our CTO, Oliver Cullis, and our Chief Clinical Officer, Dr. Faris Al-Qadir, they did a lot of the heavy lifting. I can't take a lot of credit for it, but, they did a great job in terms of gathering requirements and working with our other developers and really making the experience, really tight for the user. And the biggest thing that having a mobile app is going to allow us to do is, for example, we go to these trade shows, physicians walk by, they can download the app, quickly sign up, and then when they match for a job, our platform automatically detects that match and will send them a push notification. So instead of, agencies often phone call and email and text, or I should say phone call and text doctors. We really have a policy against texting or calling our doctors and our APPs. It's kind of part of our Bill of Rights is what we call it. We will not call or text the doctor unless they've actually going through credentialing with us. However, we will email and we will do push notifications through the mobile app if they've opted in to that to get those messages. So we want to it's a kinder, gentler approach instead of nagging our people on our platform and new users. We want to allow them to opt in, get non-intrusive messages about matches that they have, and then with the app now they can get a nice push notification in the way they want to get it. Once they click on that notification, it'll instantly open that job and they can apply.
Man, that's awesome. Let's get into Axuall. I believe you mentioned in the last show, but I think now you've gone further in this partnership. Tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, so Axuall is a really amazing, still young company, about a year old, but doing some really groundbreaking things. They are developing a blockchain-based verification and credentialing network that is composed of three main stakeholders. It is holders of verification, so like a doctor, for example, and then verifiers. That could be a healthcare system. It could be a CVO that verifies certain information. So, for example, a hospital may verify that doctor, their work history, or they may verify that they finished medical school. And then you finally have subscribers. Subscribers might be a hospital where they have limited resources, and instead of doing all the verification themselves, the primary source verification, which is what happens in today's world, they can subscribe to the verified data that the Oracle, the larger verifier, completed for a call. So you're creating a marketplace for verified credentials. And because it's on the blockchain, it's trusted, it's immutable, tamper-proof, all of these types of things. So that is where the future is going for credentialing, no doubt. The fact that, a doctor may get credentialed 15 to 25 times in their career, and every time it's done from scratch, is really kind of unacceptable from a cost standpoint and a time standpoint for anybody. So, we have to eliminate that, and Axuall is really, breaking the ground on trying to do that. And
man, that's super exciting.
Yeah, so for it is, and for logical reasons, we have partnered with Axuall. We have a very close relationship with Charlie Lohuid, who's their CEO, and Charlie's also Cleveland-based. So we're both two Cleveland-based healthcare tech startups who have complementary businesses. We have built this matchmaking online marketplace, and he has built this engine for fast credentialing on the blockchain. And so you can think of us as kind of like, a sports car, and he's the engine inside our sports car, right?
Come on, Midwest United. I love it. That's awesome. Get it done. That's what I like to see. Get it done, Ohio. Awesome.
Absolutely.
So Manoj, so if somebody's listening to this and they want to learn more about Hire Medical, what's the best way for them to do that?
So first come to www.hyrmed.com and check out, our ideas page, which lists a lot of our podcasts we've done, like this one. It lists some of the thought pieces that we've put together. We actually, with Axuall, we have partnered on creating this thing called a Future of Healthcare Technology Roundtable series. Our director of marketing, Heather Kramer, has led a lot of this, and It's really amazing, actually. Every paper includes thoughts and perspectives from different stakeholders. So the first one we did was all innovators, so like healthcare tech CEOs. The next one was providers only, so doctors and things of that nature. The next one is actually going to be healthcare CEOs. So really cool series. I learn a lot every time we complete one as well, just reading it. So all of our ideas and thought were on there. Of course, going onto our website, you can sign up either as a physician, APP, or you can request access and start to post jobs if you're a medical practice. There's links on our website to Axuall as well if you want to check out and learn more about Axuall. It's AXUALL.com. Really cool company. And yeah, I think those are the main ways. Of course, you can hit me up on LinkedIn. I'm pretty active there. My first name's Manoj, last name Jhaveri. And go to our Hire Medical page on LinkedIn as well. It's almost like a magazine for the freelance healthcare economy. We're always posting stuff about understanding better the needs of this population and the economics of what's happening in this freelance economy and why more physicians and APPs are choosing to do this kind of work. So it's pretty cool.
Man, that's awesome. I love it. Well, hey, Manoj, it's been awesome having you back on for this 2020 reunion. I'm happy to have you on 2021, see what's going on then. I know you guys are going to be moving and shaking even more, so I love it. And to the audience, as always, thank you for tuning in. Hope you got a lot of value out of this. If you did, don't forget to subscribe to the podcast. Leave me a review on the Apple iTunes store. If you're watching this on our YouTube channel, Mission Matters Innovation, definitely give us a subscribe there, and leave us some comments in the video section. Want to hear your thoughts and what's going on in your world. Let's keep the conversation going on in the YouTube community. And Manoj, thanks again for coming on.